Hello, Chris Godinez, licensed professional counselor, also the host of We Need to Talk on every Sunday at noon, and then I post it up to Facebook, and then I do these questions on Wednesday. This video is for educational and informational purposes only. The views and opinions stated herein are mine and mine alone. They do not represent the ACA, the APA, or any other therapist for that matter. Boom, shakalaka, done. All right, I'd like to thank my sponsor, BetterHelp, BetterHelp, BetterHelp.com/Chris Godinez. They are an online therapy company. They are international. So if you are anywhere in the world and you need to get to a therapist, go to BetterHelp.com/Chris Godinez. The great thing about them is you go on, you fill out some questions, they will set you up with a licensed professional therapist, master's level or PhD level. You can contact them and do chats, or you can do live, video type things. So that's awesome. I just thank you, BetterHelp.com/Chris Godinez. Okay, let's dive into today's questions, shall we? All right, hang on. There was a whole slew of them. Hold on. Okay. What ways are there to celebrate the holidays when there is no sane family and you're single? Okay, so there's tons of things you can do. I mean, if there's no sane family, get with friends. Seriously, if you don't want to be alone, get with friends. If you don't mind being alone, look at this as your vacation. Like, go take off and go do a spa, go to Mexico, go stay at one of the resorts, go do something like that. If money is an issue, get with friends or go volunteer or go do something to get you out of your head so that you're not sitting there, kind of feeling sorry for yourself because the family's not sane. Because that's common. We do that. We do feel sorry for ourselves. And don't make yourself wrong, but don't unpack your bags there either. So basically, you do you. I know this is going to sound really funny, but do whatever you want. What have you always wanted to do? Have you always wanted to go out for Thanksgiving? Have you always wanted to go out and away? Did you always want to go, travel or do a cruise or, things like that? There are things you can do, and there are things you can do that are not that expensive. So like I said, get together with friends, go volunteer, go do a hike, go, do what would make you feel good, kind of thing. If you don't want to be alone, then I would suggest getting with the sane friends, just point blank. Hey, I don't have any sane family. I really don't want to be alone. Are you guys interested in doing a Friendsgiving or whatever? Host something yourself. You don't have to even, be like the please sir, may I have some more orphan. You can host something yourself, and have fun. It's all about when you realize that family is toxic, when you realize that they are not supportive and things like that, what have you always wanted to do? How have you always wished it could go? Where have you always wanted to go? What have you always wanted to do? Do that, or do a variation of that. So when I read this question, my first thought was, oh, dear heavens, go on a cruise, go to a resort, go get pampered, go get taken care of. That's something I thought. If money is an issue, then host something yourself if you're interested, or go volunteer at an older age home. Go volunteer with the food bank or a soup kitchen or things like that. Get out of your own head. Go do something for somebody else. That's another way to do it. So there's tons of things that you can do. I would definitely see about a friends get together or host something yourself. So yeah, there's things you can do. Me personally, if I were still single, and, I didn't have family that I could hang out with, I would go somewhere. I would go to a resort. I would, go somewhere I've always wanted to go. I would go somewhere where I've been like, I wonder what that place is like. And I would go because I'm curious that way. And I like to do things like that. So, is it, what's the word I'm looking for? There is this huge stigma, I think, about women traveling alone. And especially around the holidays, is that we get this whole, you're alone and making you wrong somehow for being alone. Personally, before I got together with John, I wouldn't deal with my family. I would leave. I would travel. I would go different places. I would try new things. I would go to different restaurants. I would, I just wouldn't be around because I didn't like being around them. So don't get stuck in that whole, oh, I'm alone, therefore I'm lonely. If you are working on yourself, swear to God, listen to me now, believe me later. If you are working on yourself and you're working the self-esteem workbook, you will enjoy this time alone because this is the time for you to really figure out, what do you want? What do you need? What makes you happy? What would support you the best? And work on the thoughts. Work on the, do you make yourself wrong? Do you put yourself down? None of that. That belongs to the family, not to me. Does that make sense? So yeah, this could be a really great time to go do things or do something just for you. And I'm all for that. So don't let the whole, I'm alone, therefore I'm lonely. Well, we're only lonely when we're not in a good relationship with ourselves. We're only lonely when we're not in a good relationship with our thoughts. When the thoughts are mean, condescending, putting us down, they're bullies, okay, that internal critic. If those thoughts are that way, yeah, we are going to be lonely. But if we're able to go, I hear you, I see you, go pound sand, I am not interested, bye-bye now. Do you see where I'm going with that? Then we can have a good time because we're filling our head with, this is great. This is really, I've never done this before. This is awesome, that kind of thing. So that would be my suggestion. Excuse me. Okay, let's go over to this other question. Is it common for abusers to use suicidal threats? Yes. And scare tactics to make the target stay? Apparently they are homicidal as well. Yeah, they are. Because I talked about that on Sunday. So yes, abusers absolutely, especially during the holiday season, will use the suicidal threats, suicidal gestures. They'll, if you don't get back together with me, I'll kill myself. If you leave me, I'll kill myself. That kind of thing. Always, always, always take the threats seriously. I cannot stress this enough. Yes, they will use the BS fog, the blame, the shame, the fear, the obligation, and the guilt. They absolutely will. They will absolutely use that. So what I recommend is if they pull the whole, I'm going to kill myself, you call crisis. You send crisis out after them. Or you call the police and say, hey, this person has made a suicidal threat. I need a welfare check. I need, whatever. I'm just letting you know, that kind of thing. I can guarantee you they'll do that once. And then they won't pull it again because they know that there's going to be somebody showing up at their door that's going to commit them for the next 24 to 72 hours. So, yeah, they absolutely do that. You betcha, because they're trying to manipulate and control. So, yes, that is a common thing that they do. Absolutely. And the homicidal stuff, yeah, the more dark triad they are, the more they're going to threaten it or the more they're going to do it because they're crazy. So, and when I say crazy, I don't mean legally crazy. I mean they're just, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. So, yeah, but take all threats seriously. All threats are to be taken seriously and reported to the police. If you need to, get a restraining order. Absolutely. Now realize an order of protection or a restraining order is just a piece of paper, but you're going to need it if they're continually harassing you, threatening you, making threats to you, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, because eventually they'll go to jail. So yeah, so you want to keep that restraining order with you. You do not want to violate it yourself. I've often seen people file a restraining order, then the abuser does the Hoover, they fall for it, they get back in touch with them, boom, the restraining order is now null and void. You don't want to do that. So if you do get a restraining order, you do not have contact with them. Even if they call you and say they're homicidal or suicidal or whatever, you call the police. You call the police or you call crisis, one of the two. Okay, there is that. Oh my God, it is so cold here in Atlanta. I can't even begin to tell you. Whoa! All right. Okay. Next question. Okay. How do you deal with feeling silly for talking to the inner child? That idea is so often mocked in our larger culture. Well, okay, here's the deal. It's interesting to me that they make fun of it because it works. It does. It works. So when I have clients that are like, I feel so stupid talking to myself. So that's when I go, okay, You have a right to talk to yourself, and you have a right to talk to yourself with kindness. And the way I want you to speak to yourself is the way you would speak to your own child. You know, you're not going to be harsh and mean and critical to your own child, hopefully. You're going to be kind. You're going to be gentle. You're going to be, loving. And that's the way I want you to speak to you. So even though it feels weird and it feels stupid and, people are going to make fun of me, well, it doesn't matter what other people think. It matters what you think. So if that inner critic is popping up and going, this is dumb. Why are we doing this? Blah, blah, blah. Thank you for your input. Shut the bleep up. Why? Because I say so. I say so. I get to talk to myself with kindness, whether I'm speaking to my inner child or whether I'm speaking to my adult me. I get to speak to myself with kindness, and I will speak to myself with kindness. So that's what you got to do. You got to just put that bully down, send it on its way, send it to go pound sand, whatever. Do you see where I'm going with that? And then you go right back to, hi, good to see you. Have a great day. I give you permission to speak kindly to yourself. And you just keep practicing it. It eventually becomes a habit. And things that become a habit we don't even think about, we just do automatically. That's what you want. So the self-esteem workbook, Glenn Schiraldi. What are your automatic thoughts? How are you stopping yourself? What's the logical challenge to this? Well, the logical challenge is I get to speak to myself with kindness. Why? Because I say so. That's the challenge. You're the boss. Not this thing. You're the boss. So practice that. That is a common thing. You're not wrong. Okay, let's go over to this other question. Oh dear. I want my abuser to miss me, and I am angry at myself for wanting this so much. Okay, I know. Here's the bad news, guys. Abusers don't feel the way you and I feel. They don't. They don't have empathy. They don't have regret. They don't have remorse. They don't feel anything, really, not the way we do. So in a healthy breakup, you break up with somebody and you miss them because they've been a part of your life. They've been important to you, and so you miss them. Abusers don't give us a second thought. They truly do not give us a second thought. We mean nothing to them. Like literally, we mean nothing to them. We are an object, as far as they are concerned, to be used. That's all they care about. Once our usefulness is gone, they chuck us. We have no more meaning to them. None. Zip. Zero. Zilch. Nada. And I think that is the most devastating thing to survivors of abuse is that here we are thinking about them all the time. They tend to be the first thing on our mind in the morning, the last thing at night. And then it suddenly starts dawning on us, I mean nothing to them. They're not thinking about me. They don't care what they did. They don't care about the destruction that they left. They don't care. They don't care. They literally do not think about us. As soon as we are out of sight, out of mind. And my dad was that way. My dad only cared if I was right in front of him. If I wasn't right in front of him, I never heard from him, except for maybe once every couple of months, So if I wasn't right in front of him, I didn't even cross his mind. I didn't exist. And that's how they treat us, is that we do not exist unless we can do something for them or unless we're right in front of them. Healthy people think about other people. Healthy people ponder. Healthy people wonder how they're doing. Healthy people, that kind of thing. Abusers don't. They're not healthy. They're not healthy. They don't have empathy. They don't have that regret or remorse or guilt or anything. They don't think they've done anything wrong ever. Literally, they think they've done nothing wrong and you're the problem. So that's why I'm saying, even if you were in front of them, it would either be a Hoover or it would be you guns. So they don't think about us, hun. They don't think about us. So the reason why you want them to miss you is to acknowledge that you're important, that you meant something to them. And it's not because of you that they don't think about you. It's because of them. Healthy, normal people don't just discard and never think of the other person ever again, Healthy, normal people take responsibility for their stuff and they try to make amends or they try to repair the relationship or they leave the door open or whatever. Narcissists don't do that. Narcissists have a tendency to be like, my way or the highway, screw you. And then if you don't jump to their tune or ask how high when they say jump, then, you don't mean anything to them. So it's not you, it's them. They're not normal. They are not normal. Okay. Gentle with you though, hun, because you just want to know that you meant something to them. You didn't. And it's not because of you. It's not because of you. It's because of them. Okay, let's go to the next question. Okay, last Christmas, my cousin complained about the gift I got her in front of the family. What? I have anxiety about getting her something this year. How do you think I should handle it? Oh, God. Well, my mind immediately went to get her a lump of coal, but I know that's not the right answer. So this person's got a problem. This person is absolutely in the wrong. That's not cool. So what you could do is just get him a gift certificate. Just get him a Visa gift card for whatever amount you guys are doing the exchange for. Honestly, if it was up to me, I wouldn't get her anything. I would be like, you're an ungrateful little so-and-so. So, I wouldn't get her anything. But if you have to, if the family is insisting everybody play nice, get her a gift card. And I swear to God and all that's holy, if that person starts, complaining about your gift, I would go on and cancel it. It's like, okay, you don't want it? Great. I'll just take the money back. Seriously. It's like, what an ungrateful little, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, lump of coal, because that's not what gifts are about. It's like, look, somebody gives me a gift. It is, how do I explain this? It's a way of acknowledging a person. It's like, sometimes people give me gifts and I don't care for them. It's not something I would use. But again, it's the thought behind it that counts. Wow, thank you. This was awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. That's all you got to say. You don't sit there and complain about the gift. That is so crass. And that is so low. That's like no manners. That's like, wow, were you raised in a barn? Seriously. It's like, where are your manners? What is going on here? Not that there's anything necessarily wrong with being raised in a barn, but it's like, where are your manners? Where are your manners? When somebody gives you a gift, you are gracious about it, whether you like the gift or not. It's not about the thing. It's about the act. It's the act of giving. It's one of the love languages. Gift giving is one of the acts of love. So if you're bothering to go out and find a gift for somebody and give it to them and they are snarky about it, I would never give them another gift again. I really wouldn't. Or if you have to because of family politics, then get them a gift card. Get them a Visa gift card. They can go spend it on whatever they want. And if they complain about that, then I would just be like, we're done here. And I wouldn't put up with it. I would just be like, wow, nice manners. I'd call them out because that's what I do because I don't put up with stuff. So yeah, I don't like that. That's just, and there are some people, I swear to you, if the world were perfect, they would still find something to complain. Oh, it's too perfect. It's too perfect. They just like to complain. If they stopped complaining, I'm convinced they would drop dead because they'd have nothing to live for. So, that's just rude. It's rude. It's no manners. It's classless. It's snarky. It's passive aggressive. It's not okay. Really not okay. So if you have to get a gift for this person, just get them a gift card. They can buy whatever they want. And if they have a fit over that, never buy them another gift again. Or you could beat them a lump of coal. That's what I would do. So yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's get the next question. I left an abusive relationship and I feel so alone. I want another relationship right now. Why should I wait? Oh boy. Okay. When we leave an abusive relationship, here's the deal. Our picker is broken. Our picker is broken. We have not worked on ourselves enough to be bulletproof. So when we leave an abusive family or leave an abusive relationship, it's really important that you work on yourself. So the Self-Esteem Workbook by Glenn Schiraldi, The Disease to Please by Harriet Breaker, CPTSD from Surviving to Thriving by Pete Walker. Get with a good trauma therapist. Start working on what attracted you to this person in the first place. What was going on in your family of origin? What did you believe about yourself that this occurred? Okay. So our picker is broken because what ends up happening is if we come from a family that is disordered, or if we come from a family that doesn't have good communication, they may not have been abusive, but it also may not have been healthy. The inner child is going to look outside of ourselves and go, ooh, somebody that kind of sort of reminds me of the person I had the most hard time with growing up. I know if I can make that person out there love me, I prove this person in my family wrong. Half of a doo-doo sandwich, half of a doo-doo sandwich, total doo-doo sandwich. So our pickers are broken and we're not bulletproof yet. We haven't recognized all the signs. We haven't understood in ourselves what we're trying to heal by continually getting involved with abusers. And especially if this is a serial thing, like you get involved with an abuser, you break up, you're lonely, you get involved with another one, maybe different abuse, but it's still abuse. Do you see where I'm going with that? That just screams inner child work, self-esteem work. Inner Child Workbook, either by Catherine Taylor or Lucia Cappuccioni. Those two are very different. So the Lucia Cappuccioni has you write the child stuff with your non-dominant hand, talking to the adult with your dominant hand. And that's really cool. The Catherine Taylor one has you actually do things like holding yourself as a child or pulling out a blanket and smearing applesauce all over the place, and kind of getting that experiential body memory kind of thing. So those would be the two books that I would recommend. Work on you. You, above all others, are worthy of your own love, your own time, and your own attention. You are worthy of loving yourself, and you are worthy of recognizing red flags and making yourself bulletproof so you don't have to continually try to work out this relationship over here with abusers over there. Does that make sense? So this is why you should wait, is that you're worthy. You're worthy of falling in love with you. You're worthy of loving you. You are worthy of respecting you. If you are lonely, it is because this is not good. This inner critic absolutely needs to be worked on and replaced with the positive. So that's what's going on, hun. This is why self-esteem is so important. This is why getting with a therapist is so important, because otherwise we unconsciously keep repeating the patterns with people outside of our family trying to fix our family. It's the inner child stuff. So yeah, you definitely want to not get involved in another relationship. You absolutely need to wait. How do you know when you're ready? Well, you're ready when you're not desperate for it. Seriously. You're ready when you're content and you're happy just being alone and being with you and doing things on your own. That's when you're ready. If you're like, I gotta get into a relationship now. There was a great movie, I think it was called 28 Days with Sandra Bullock. And there was a character that was in the program and clean and sober, and he wanted a relationship immediately, wanted to dive into a relationship. And so the therapist basically said, and I totally agree, you're not ready for a relationship. Get a house plant first. If you can keep that house plant alive, then get a dog. And if you're happy with the dog, then maybe after you've worked on your self-esteem, you can get into a relationship. So at the end of the movie, the guy clearly hadn't learned his lesson and was desperate to keep his house plant alive, and he had a dog, and he was like, I'm ready for a relationship. No, you're not. So when you're desperate for it, that's absolutely the wrong time to do it. Love yourself. Be with yourself. After I left my abusive family, I was alone for a long time. I left when I was 17. And I dated a couple of guys. One was abusive, one was not. And then I got together with John, but I didn't do it like serially. Does that make sense? It's like there was time in between, worked on myself, figured out what was going on, and yeah. So spend time with yourself. listen to what this is doing. If this is not your inner cheerleader and it is your inner bully, work on shutting this up and replacing it with the positive. Gentle with you. Love your own company. You alone are worthy of your own love, your own time, and your own attention. You're worthy. It's okay. Take your time. If you dive into another relationship, the likelihood of being with somebody abusive is really high. And if you don't know what you're looking for, if you don't know why you got involved with somebody who was abusive before and you're just desperate to not be alone, you're probably going to find somebody very similar. So be careful, get with a good therapist, and start working on your self-esteem. You get to love you. You get to love you. It's awesome. Self-love is great, and self-love is what keeps us safe. So I know it sounds counterintuitive, but it really is. It really is what keeps us safe. Okay, let's see. Another question. Okay, I think I answered that one. Did I answer all the questions? Yeah. Yep, I think I did. Okay, my loves. Well, you guys have a good Thanksgiving. Remember, you don't have to put up with anybody's BS. You don't. BS fog. You don't have to put up with that. If you don't want to stay, don't. You can leave. Have an escape. Have a way to get out. Take good care of yourselves. Drink plenty of water. Just be gentle with you, and I will talk to you on Sunday. All right. Talk to you guys later. Bye.